Hello guys, so the trial of the Sekhemas series continues, and before we go into the paupers level, mid level and high level of farming of trial of Sekhemas, I wanted to talk to you about room types, reward types, and afflictions and boons. I'm guessing room and reward types are not that comprehensive, so they can be mashed into a single video, but then afflictions and boons will have their own separate video. Okay, first off, let's start with the room types. So, guys, from best to worst, uh, I guess boss is a little bit to the side. Ritual is the best one. You enter a ritual room, there will be one, three, or six portals there at random. And depending on how many portals there are, the portal size will increase or decrease. The more portals there are, the smaller they are, meaning and there will be two guards next to each, and it will constantly spawn monsters. But if you are going to farm this place, it's going to be not much of a challenge. So we want for sweet, one portal rituals which can be completed in about a second. The one portal ones will also be having a rare that's coming out of it. You have to defeat them quickly. The six portal ones will have some traps in it, but very minor. The flamethrower spinning thingies, maybe a few spikes, but not too much. Easily avoidable stuff. So that's the best kind of room. The second best kind of room would be, I think, a little bit dependent on your build, but chalice would be, I would say, the second best. Chalice would be you would be going around the room, you would be trying to kill all the rares in the room, and you do not actually have to click on the chalice, right? Because we are min-maxing here. I mean, we will at least be min-maxing at the end, but it sometimes happens. You just go click on the chalice. You don't need to click on the chalice. So the movement speed plays an important role here. If you are moving around fast, these are really pretty nice. I would say the third best would be escape. There would be the crystals, right? You click on the crystals, and whenever you click a crystal, it would send a beam towards the next crystal. You don't have to take that path, of course. You just have to click on all the crystals, and if you do not click on all of the crystals before the timer phase, you do not fail your trial, right? You are just going to take a huge amount of damage, but it will not end the trial. Funny enough, guys, in season 0, I was not I was refusing to get a boost from anyone. I wanted to, do it myself. And the first thing I completed, the first trial of Sekhemas I completed for my 7th and 8th points, it was like that, right? I think I had the annoying affliction that hides the minimap, and I did panic. So, and it was such a good going run. I was like, dang, the run has failed. And then I took like 2.53k maybe under damage, but I did survive. So just in case, if the timer goes out, you do not die immediately. The fourth best room would be hourglass, I would say. But if you are a little bit slow on the take, that could easily go over escape, I would say. So you click on the hourglass and then you kill rares. So there is some additional information that has to be given about this in patch 03, right? In season of the abyssal, they have bugged this. On the second floor, the hourglasses can bug, and we might not spawn rares or might stop spawning rares after one or two, right? The workaround I have found around this is it's not foolproof. It doesn't work all the time, but you activate the timer, right? It starts off from 1 minute 29 seconds, and the first rare spawns at 1.22. So if you stay around like a good boy for like 7 seconds, right? As I told you in my runs, then there is a very good chance that you get the rare, but don't nuke it very hard because then it can disrupt the cycle, which is pretty annoying. Only on floor 2 though. Floor 1, 3, and 4 work perfectly, but 2, there is this, and then the worst ones are the gauntlet trials, obviously. And I'm saying this even if you are not failing to dodge the traps, right? Because they do take a long time to complete, right? Because it makes you go all the way around. You pull one lever, the way back is blocked, right? Then you have to backtrack, or you have to walk around, right? It does take a long time, even if you are doing them properly. And if you are not doing them properly, they are going to cause a lot of damage if you are impatient or fail. There is, for example, a terrible room on floor 2, I think, with an extreme amount of flamethrowers. If you panic there, that could be a problem. For the gauntlet rooms, I would advise you to bring an ignite charm. So, whenever you get ignited, it will immediately douse the dowsing charm, because the ignite will deal damage over time to you, and that will deal honor damage over time. So the damage is not going to be significant, right? But the honor damage is, so there's that. And the sixth uh, room kind is the boss room. I don't think that can be tiered, right? You have to do these. So the worst room is gauntlet, and I would say if you have a decent character, uh, all of them should be a breeze. So, try to give a reverse priority to gauntlets, meaning, avoid the gauntlet rooms and go for anything else while prioritizing ritual. But also, of course, the rewards are important. So, if there is a gauntlet room with a good reward on it, just go there, right? It shouldn't be that big of a problem. Dodge rolling is your friend. The flame spitting things, you can roll under them, right? It's very nice. Be very careful with sprinting. I mean, I do have a fast character. I just don't sprint at all. I mean, I also do have the bird, of course, because if you are sprinting and you run into a flame trap, it will knock you down, and then the subsequent flames will be hitting you, and you are going to lose out of honor, even fail the trial. So be careful with that. What about the rewards, guys? So the rewards could be sacred water fountain or large sacred water fountain. You have to prioritize these at the beginning of the run so you can get your hands on some sacred water, which is the currency of Trial of Sekhemas, and so you can buy nice boons for yourself. Merchants, if you have sacred water, you should be going to those unless you have all you need. Uh, then there are the rare cache rooms, bronze, silver, or gold. There will be a cache, and you would have to spend a key to open it. These are generally garbage. Key rooms, these are not that important. Just make sure that you always have one gold key at the end of the round, because the monsters can drop these as well. These are not great either. Then we have the pledge rooms. That's interesting. So you go to these, you spend 5 sacred water, and it will present you with 3 options. There are a lot of options which we will get to later on. But generally, at the cost of receiving something negative, you receive something positive. The best ones are generally involved that you take damage, because the damage is not going to be much, but you are going to receive something nice out of it, a random boon or whatever it is, right? There are pretty nice stuff. The animation to activate the thing takes a long time. So if you are set, just skip these. This is, of course, for the highest level, right? I mean, if you are doing the low level or mid level farming, you go to these, right? There could be something beneficial. And finally, the Marrakech Shrine. I'm considering doing a separate video for this, because I was so confused what that meant. You receive an affliction whenever you venerate a Marrakech Shrine. You receive a boon whenever you. What is that, right? So, thing is, there are 4 kinds, right? Some of these are simple. So, the most simple version is they all cost 5 sacred water to activate. The the most simple one is that you restore some of your honor, right? The other one, this is somewhat more rare, and that's pretty valuable. Uh, well, let's go with a different order, not the one that's being discussed here. Restores a lot of honor, but gives you a curse. These are kind of worthless. These are like the keys and caches. Do not go to these rooms, because you could get a very nasty curse, affliction, and make your run much worse. Then there is the beautiful ones, restores honor and gives you a boon. You should prioritize these. So, for example, if there is a gauntlet room with these, you should go to that, right? Because it's also going to restore the honor that you lose in the gauntlet room if you do lose that one. And finally, these are very rare. These are beautiful blessings of the fickle wind or something. So uh, this restores a decent amount of honor and gives you a boon and also cleanses an affliction. And thing is, guys, affliction cleansing is extremely rare in this game, right? I mean, in Trial of Sekhemas, if you get an affliction, you are stuck with it, right? The only ways are uh, the from the pledge thingies and the this one, right? So that's why you have to be careful about it, right? I mean, if you can find a boon later on, uh, even if you miss it, if you have played Slay the Spire, I know it's a little bit, unexpected, but if you have played Slay the Spire, in those you see the relics, the boons, right? They are the equivalent of boons only once in a run. So if you see a boon that you want and miss it, you can never have it, right? There is no such thing. You can see the same affliction multiple times. You can see the same boon multiple times, and I'm not even talking about repeatable ones. But obviously, I'm talking about, so for example, like this. You see the 40% movement speed, right? You don't have the sacred water to buy it, so you miss it, right? But then you can buy it again, see it again in the merchant's window, or you can randomly receive it. So you can see the same boon multiple times if you are curious about that. So obviously, we prioritize the boon giving ones, right? The affliction cleansing ones, those are really rare though. I would say you see those rooms once every 2-3 rounds, right? But the boon giving ones are pretty common. You see like 2 to 3 of them every round, and you should try to make a point of going to those. The honor restoring ones, if you are low on honor, you could definitely go to these. But normally, if you are set on honor, there is no rush. So yeah, that's about it. The pledges can reward interesting stuff. They can reward sometimes stuff called pledges, and they will have a gold and purple border, half gold, half purple, which means it does do something positive for you, but also it does do something negative for you. And they do not count as either afflictions or boons. They are literally called pledges. So why is this important? So for example, if you have anything pertaining to you getting boons or afflictions, that will not trigger that. For example, let me just give you one example. We will go into those in detail, but there is one, for example, that says you receive 50% discount on merchant prices, but monsters do not drop any sacred water, right? That's the, that's one thing, right? So it helps you, but it also harms you. So these are called pledges, and they do not count as either afflictions or boons. They are called pledges. There are so few of those, but there are a few. And I did notice this when I had the game forced the whenever you receive an affliction, you get another. The game forced that on me, and I received that, and it didn't give me another affliction. Yeah. I guess I kind of always knew, but that did establish it for me. So yeah, and about the bosses, I guess let's say just take a look at this. The first boss is very easy, right? I mean, if you cannot kill it quick, uh, you have to be stay away from it when he does the explosion thing. He also appears as the boss of a map, right? Then there are the two constructs. Uh, if you do not kill them very quickly, sometimes they do some explosions. You should see some on ground effects, and you should be staying from those on ground effects because uh, they can kill you after they died. The Scorpion is rather straightforward. You just nuke it ASAP. Have to be careful with the traps. And there is one actually important uh, tip I can give you with Zarok, right? Zarok is pretty powerful, especially if you are doing against the darkness where he receives a quarter damage normally. So there is a bit of a trick. So he goes to the center of the room and he does this spinning lightning thing, right? Against the spinning lightning thing, bottom left corner is safe. In case you didn't know, that's pretty important. Uh, So you just go to the bottom left corner and you keep shooting at him, and he will not be able to hit you with the spinning lightning thing, because those things can deplete under extremely fast, especially if you are doing top level farming with Xeno under resistance. Yeah, I mean, one time I did underestimate him, and I had like 3,000 honor, right? I stood in front of him and I was nuking him, and I guess I had some damage reducing thingies, right? And he hit me full on. And from 3,000, I went extremely quickly in like less than a second, fraction of a second. I went down to 11 honor, guys. That's my luck. 11. And I didn't fail the run. But if I failed, I had deserved it. And then he went to the middle, with the transition, the hourglass thingies. Then I was able to kill him and the run didn't fail. One more thing, you might have missed this. With patch 03, if you are unable to stop on all of the hourglasses in the intermission phase, he doesn't kill you. If you recall this, guys, I had this. So you beat him a little, right? He goes to the middle, disappears. He conjures 6 hourglasses and clock, right? Before the clock fills, you have to step on all of the 6 hourglasses. If you can't, he just pops and bang, touches you and you die, right? That has been changed. Now, just like the crystals, it does a huge honor damage to you, but uh, doesn't kill you. So this here is wrong. This has been changed with patch 03. It doesn't kill you, but you should definitely be able to do that, because if you are going to, farm trials Sekhemas, you have to be, you know, you have to have a lot of movement speed if you want to farm this place properly, because then the chalice trials, the escape trials will be a huge waste of time. So you should be able to do this naturally, right? Even without the 40% movement speed thingy. So yeah, that's about it. Now we will be doing an affliction and a boon tiering, and then I think we can conclude our Trial of Sekima series with the levels of farming and what you should do and what you should leave on the ground. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.